Hi, I'm Katie and today I wanted to talk to you about the long-term heal of your brows. We talk a lot about what affects brow healing in the early stages with regards aftercare and exercise, etc. But there are a lot of things that are going to affect how well your brows last long-term and how we can best get them to look great for longer. All permanent brows will need maintenance in the form of colour boosts, which usually happen yearly. Some clients get longer out of them and some clients will want to come earlier. So what are the things that affect this? From the artist side, what pigment you use will affect the long-term heal. If you use an organic carbon-based pigment, these are much more similar to traditional body tattoo pigments and can last a lot longer in the skin. This obviously has its benefits, but also if you decide you want to change the shape or style of how your brow is, it's going to be harder. Carbon can also heal cool and ashy over time. Iron oxide-based pigments, on the other hand, have a tendency to fade more, so if you decide you want to change the technique or shape of your brow, it's easier to do. They, though, can heal a little warm over time. So if you choose pigments that have an even light fastness, which means that the different colours that make up the brow pigment fade at an even speed, then your brow should just fade to a nice light brown colour, rather than leaving pink, red or orange tones.
You can see that even though this brow has faded, it's a really nice even colour of brown.
Also, the depth that an artist places the pigment will have an effect on how it looks after a while. If you go too deep with the treatment, the pigment will be closer to the vascular system and further away from the surface of the skin, and it will look really cool and it can last a long time. If you don't implant it deep enough, it can look warmer, so depth is really important. So from an artist's point of view, your pigment and your technique are really important for the long-term heal. So what about from the client's point of view? How does that affect the long-term results? A client's lifestyle will also dramatically affect how the brows age. If you're someone who exercises a lot, then your metabolism is likely to be higher, which means that your body can break down the pigment quicker. So active people may find that their brows need refreshing more often. The single biggest known factor to affect how long your brows last is UV light. Your brows will get more UV than any other part of your body, and it's the quickest way to fade your brows. Clients that are on sunbeds a lot or out in the sun, but even just being outside in daylight is enough to fade them. The best way to counteract that is to wear sunscreen on them every day.
A great way to protect your brows from the sun is simply to put on some chapstick with SPF. It also helps you style them as well.
We just can't see everything that's going on inside a person, and there are so many different biological processes and so many individual factors such as medication and genetics that we can't accurately predict how each person's brows are going to heal. It's always just an educated guess. Factors that I've seen affect brows myself include immune disorders, anemia, cancer treatment and pregnancy hormones. Now, even though I wouldn't treat someone who is pregnant or undergoing cancer treatment, those can affect the body for a while afterwards and change the way the pigment stays in the skin. The best way to keep your brows looking fresh is to tint your hair regularly if you have lots of blonde ones. This makes your hair match the background. I've even had people book for a colour boost and then once they've had them tinted, realise they probably didn't need it. Then protect them daily with UV sunscreen and book in for a regular colour boost once they start to fade. Some of my clients prefer to come sooner as they like their brows bolder, so I have a sliding scale of pricing for colour boosts. The earlier you come, the cheaper it is. I hope that helps give you some information on how to look after your brows and what to expect.